Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, you're so welcome. I'm Ekemini, a nursing student currently based in Nigeria. In today's video, we are going to be talking about family planning. I'm going to be giving you guys 15 effective ways you can actually avoid being pregnant. And you should also bear in mind that family planning is not just for people that do not want to give birth anymore. If you're single and you don't want to be pregnant, you don't want to take in, you can actually go for a family planning section so that you prevent yourself from bringing some unwanted babies to the world. Some religion actually condemn family planning. Example of one religion or one group of people I know that condemn family planning is a Catholic. So they do not accept family planning. I mean, they believe that children are gifts from God, so they believe that God said we should multiply, so everybody should multiply. Actually, that is very good, but it is going to be a sin if you bring children to the world that you know that you can't actually take care of them or you can't fend for them. So instead of bringing children you can't fend for, it's better to go for a family planning. I'm not saying that if you do not believe in family planning you should actually do it. No, stick to what you believe in. This family planning thing is actually for people that actually believes in it. We are going to be starting from the less effective to the most effective, and it is always advisable for you to go to your healthcare providers so that even though you have a particular one in mind, they would check your body status to know if that particular one you want can actually work for you. I mean, people differ, so you should actually know what you really want. With that being said, if you have not subscribed to this channel, subscribe, like, share. First, less effective method is the withdrawal method, and the withdrawal method is classified as being less effective because if your partner is so carried away, he might end up pouring a part of his sperm inside you, and it can end up fertilizing your eggs and then you get pregnant. So it is not considered as being effective. And also with the withdrawal method, there is every possibility that you can get all kind of sexually transmitted disease you can actually think of. The next one is the use of spermicide. Yes, spermicide include contraceptive. That means after having an unprotected sex, you can use contraceptive as a kind of family planning, but of course that is not always very accurate because most times it cannot work. It might not work depending on how your body reacts to drugs. That's for the first stage. So the second stage of the less effective are the male condoms. The male condoms, which are actually the normal kind of condom. Condom can actually prevent pregnancy, but that is in the case where your partner is not actually exercising force, because sometimes, not all the time, sometimes the amount of force your partner exercise can actually make the condom slip and fall, or you can actually burst the condom without your knowledge and without your partner's knowledge, and then some sperm can actually fertilize your egg and then you become pregnant. So condom is safe, but it is not also classified as being too safe. And most people do not also like to use condom because they feel like it reduces the effectiveness, like it reduces the pleasure that comes with, I mean, intimacy. So condom is not classified as being too effective when it comes to family planning. Another way you can use to prevent pregnancy is through the use of diaphragm. Now I hope you guys can hear me because these trees are doing their thing. Diaphragm is almost like condom. You have to place it in your vagina for the woman before sexual intercourse. You must do that correctly every time to prevent unwanted pregnancy or to prevent being pregnant. Another thing you can do to prevent pregnancy is through the use of female condoms. Now female condoms can actually prevent pregnancy, but it is not always very sufficient. Because if you must use the female condom, you must be very careful, because if much of force is applied, it can actually fall into your uterus, and that will mean that you would undergo a surgery that will actually bring back the condom from where it has gone to. But it is very safe because, I mean, it prevents you from any sexually transmitted disease and all other stuff. But in terms of it preventing pregnancy, it is just it is just 5 out of 10 women that can actually not get pregnant using the female condom. I just hope that is very clear. So the injectable contraceptive are highly very effective and safe. It is very private in the sense that when you go for that kind of method, nobody will actually know that that is what you're doing. It is just you and the people you tell that are going to know that this is what you're doing. When you go to your health center, an injection will be given to you every 3 months. It depends on how the dosage is going to be, but after the injection you actually experience a certain kind of bleeding for the first few months, and then after that it's going to stop. So what you need to do when you get an injectable contraceptive is that you have to abstain from sex for 7 days so that your drug can actually be effective. Then after that you can start having unprotected sex. You will not actually get pregnant. Another good thing about this injectable contraceptive is that it is very good for every kind of woman, both the ones that have given birth before and want to stop giving birth, and the ones that are single and don't want to get pregnant. That is it. And immediately you stop that contraceptive, like immediately you stop getting that injection, you can give birth, you can get pregnant. So when you go for an injectable contraceptive, when you go for that kind of method, if you now decide that you want to start giving birth, you just have to stop that drug, and then after some time you'll get pregnant. So it is very safe and it is very effective. It's not going to do any harm to you. So another method that is very good is LAM, which is lactational amenorrhea method. This one is majorly for women that just put to bed and do not want to take in within the first 6 months where they just give birth to their baby. So if you're still breastfeeding your child and you don't want to get pregnant within the first 6 months, this method is actually very advisable for you. The hormones that are going to make you pregnant, it is going to slow the hormones down and make you relax. So when you finish giving birth and when you're sure you want to take in again, just like the same thing you have to do, you stop that drug and you take in and you give birth to your children. Another method you can prevent pregnancy is through the use of pills, tablets and all other stuff. So you just go to your health center or your doctor or your pharmacist, and they will prescribe pills that can actually not make you pregnant. You take them correctly and then you would not get pregnant. If you do not take them correctly, or if you skip a dose, you will get pregnant. So you have to respect your pharmacist's prescription so you'll be safe from any unwanted pregnancy. So now we have finally come to the most effective. This group I'm going to be telling you now are the most effective and most surest means of not getting pregnant. One of the most effective is the contraceptive implant. Now this implant has to do with, it's more like a surgery kind of, because they have to place some small rods or some capsules on the upper parts of your arm or ear, depends on how your doctor or your midwife wants to do it. Small capsules or small rods will be placed on the upper part of your arm, inside your skin, so that it is going to be there. Nobody is going to know you did it except you tell them. And this one is very, very effective. It can last up to it can last from 3 to 7 years, depending on how long you want it to be there. The problem is just that after you do it, you experience some kind of bleeding for the first few months, but after that everything is going to be all right. The bleeding is not like a very, very heavy bleeding. It's just a normal bleeding that comes with doing that, and it's going to stop. It doesn't call for alarm, it's just normal. And then everybody can do it, whether you have been pregnant before or you have not been pregnant. It is safe for every kind of woman, irrespective of your age. And then after you do it, you have to wait for 7 days before you start having sex. Waiting just means that we want to be sure that it will start being effective after 7 days. That's just it. So if you do it and you want to give birth later, maybe you do the one that is going to take you for 7 years, and before the end of the 7 years, maybe 4 years into the time you did it, you change your mind and you want to get married and you want to start producing children, you just have to go back to the person that did it or a professional, they will take it off and they would, I mean, everywhere is going to become normal, like you never did it in the first place. So that is that about the implants. So the next one is the IUD or the IUCD, intrauterine contraceptive device or intrauterine device. This is one of the most popular and one of the most effective way of preventing pregnancy. There are two major types of these IUD. There is the lymph lobe and there is the copper T. The lymph lobe is the one that is made of polythene, while the copper T is made of copper. Now, how is this done? A copper kind of instrument or device is placed at the uppermost part of the uterus, which is the fundus, and when it is there, it does not prevent infertility, it only prevents implantation. So that is just how it works. This one is very effective. It can last for as long as 7 years. The only problem or the complications there is that at first when you insert it, it might come out on its own, but I mean, it's just like when they insert it again, with practice and with a little bit patience, you actually get used to it. Now I have this book here that says a good nurse. It is a very popular book for us nurses, and on this page they said something about this IUD that I would like to read to you guys. So it's just talking about the conditions, like people that are not supposed to use IUD. So they said if you have any suspected pregnancy, you are not supposed to go for an IUD. I mean, you're not supposed to use that one. If you have any past history of ectopic pregnancy, you are not supposed to use an IUD. Now, an ectopic pregnancy is a kind of pregnancy where instead of the baby growing in the uterus, which is the womb, the baby will now start growing in another part of the body. Especially maybe the baby will now start growing in the fallopian tube. And babies that grows anywhere apart from the uterus cannot make it. So they will eventually die because the womb is the only place where a baby can grow. So if you have any past experience of ectopic pregnancy, you have to evict yourself from an IUD. And also, if you have any cancer of the genital tract, if you have severe dysmenorrhea is menstrual pain. If you have severe menstrual pain, if you are somebody that always have severe menstrual pain, you should not use an IUD. And if you had a recent abortion for less than 6 months, you should not use an IUD. And of course, also, if you must go for an IUD, if you decide that you want to get pregnant, you can go back to your healthcare professionals. They would remove the IUD and you would get pregnant as fast as possible. So there's no cause for alarm. IUD is actually one of the safest and one of the most effective kind of family planning you can actually think of. The next one is vasectomy. Now this one is very, very severe, very, very intense. It is actually for male and it is permanent in the sense that it is like it is, in fact, it's not like it is an operation. It is a surgery. A surgery has to be carried out on this man that wants to go for family planning. So he has to go. His testes, each of his testes will be open and the vasa difference will be removed and cut out, and then for the 2 testes, and then they will be covered back, and he will not be able to impregnate a woman when he meets with a woman. So this one is very permanent. It is irreversible. If you are a man and you go for a vasectomy, that means you don't want to give birth actually again and again. So people that want to go for a vasectomy are people that have finished. They are very sure, they are very certain without all reasonable doubt that they don't want to give birth again. So these are people that go for this one, because when you finish that one, it is over for you. So that is that about vasectomy. So another type of family planning is the female sterilization. This one, on the other hand, is the opposite of vasectomy. This one is for women that are very sure that they don't want to give birth anymore, or they don't want to actually give birth in life. This one is very permanent and it is irreversible. There are 2 types of female sterilization. There is the hysterectomy, and the hysterectomy is the removal of the uterus, that is the womb. an operation will be carried out on you and your womb is going to be removed. So there is no way, I mean, when your womb is removed, there is no way you are going to ever get pregnant. So the next one is the tubal ligation. The tubal ligation is just where the woman's fallopian tube will be tied, so that when a sperm is released inside of her, it is not going to be going to anywhere where eggs are to go and fertilize them. So that is just where everything ends. So if you are a woman and you want to go for this female sterilization, you must be very sure and certain that you don't want to have any children, because if you want to have children and you go for this one, that is all for you. There is nothing that can be done to replace back your womb or to untie your fallopian tube. So it's more like a very permanent, it is not more like, it is a permanent situation and solution. Amen to your giving birth. This is where we're going to end for today. So if you want to go for your family planning, make sure you meet your healthcare practitioner so that they would examine you and know which method is going to work for you, and they will also know what your body can actually carry, I mean the weight your body can carry. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe, like, share, and do all those good stuff. See you guys in my next video. Bye for now.